Welcome to Films and Stuff with your hosts, Pete Mitchell and Ethan Hunt.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Films and Stuff. I am Ethan, joined, as always, by the MVP of this podcast, Most Valuable Pete. Hey, Pete, what's up today?
Not much, buddy. How are you?
I'm great. Today is Saturday morning, to be more specific. And Saturday mornings mean only one thing in this world. It is time for the weekly Films and Stuff stream or skip segment. Now, every week I introduce it with a lot of enthusiasm, which is genuine, and then I turn it over to you and you regurgitate what is, let's call them the rules of stream or skip. So without further ado, MVP, have at it.
All right. So Ethan and I have prepared lists of TV shows for each other to watch. Every week we randomly assign each other one of those shows. We watch 2 episodes if it's a series, 30 minutes if it's a feature-length program, and on that basis we determine if that show is worthy of being streamed or skipped.
You want to go first? Shall I go first?
I'll go first if you don't mind. I had a show on Netflix. It's a new show. It launched this year, I think only like a month ago, called The Boroughs.
We've already got a problem, Pete. I thought I had the Boroughs. So we both had the Boroughs. We could do a joint.
Yeah, but that's okay. We'll make this a review, stream or skip.
Let's hear your review.
All right, let me hear our review of The Boroughs.
Our review of the Boroughs. You summarize it.
All right, so The Boroughs is famous not so much for its cast or its premise. It's more famous because of who's producing it. And it was produced and developed by the Duffer Brothers, who are obviously very famous because of Stranger Things.
That's right.
Already, because the Duffer Brothers are involved, you know there's likely going to be a science fiction element to it, which there is. Stranger Things is to a group of young people as the Boroughs is to a group of old people.
Yeah, this is retiree Stranger Things.
Exactly. It stars Alfred Molina. He's kind of like the leader, right? And he's this really crotchety old man who's still got his wits, who's an aeronautical engineer, and he's moved into a new retirement community, which is called the Boroughs.
Do you think The Boroughs was filmed in the same place as Pluribus?
It looks like it. You know why? Because it was filmed in Albuquerque.
It strikes me as the exact same neighborhood with the cul-de-sac and the home and everything.
So the show was filmed in Albuquerque. I don't know if it's the same neighborhood, but it definitely has the same vibe.
Yeah.
Unlike other retirement communities, right, which is like typically when you think of a retirement community in the U.S., it's usually one large building. It almost looks like a hospital or a hotel, and it's got like individual rooms and studio apartments. This is a retirement community where everyone lives in small houses. So your stereotypical white picket fence neighborhood in the middle of the desert, that's kind of what it looks like. So it's actually kind of a cool looking environment. He's moved there because 6 months ago or a year ago, his wife decided that they both should move into a retirement community. And unfortunately, 5 months ago, she passes away. She has a stroke and dies. And so now
I thought you were going to say she decided to go up and die. But no, first she decided to move into this community, and then she up and died.
And then she up and dies. That's right. And so
a very grisly death.
And he's old and crotchety, but he's crotchety and upset because obviously he loved his wife dearly, and he misses her, and he was always the less friendly of the pair. He was the introvert of the pair. She was the extrovert. She's the one who got him dancing. And you know what I mean? Like she was the color in his life. He moves into a house where a woman has mysteriously died. And we don't know if she died natural causes or if she died because she was murdered. We don't know. There was a very brief opening sequence with her dying under mysterious circumstances.
I thought that opening scene, honestly, if it wasn't for my dedication to you and to the listeners, I 100% would have turned the show off after that opening scene. That was the stupidest, most trite, cliche opening scene. I was ready. I swear to God, I would have quit after that scene. If it was just me on Netflix watching that, I would have been like, nope, this is stupid.
Yeah,
really
it looked like a B-movie horror sequence that you'd get from like the 70s and 80s of a horror movie, right?
I
with the camera chasing her through the house and all that nonsense.
Yeah. I would have had no tolerance for this. I would have moved on right away.
And at the end of the first episode, you get the feeling that you realize that this is a sci-fi show because Alfred Molina is in his house. He hears a noise and he sees what he thinks is an alien or some kind of monster or some kind of being, as it were. And then, of course, the mystery deepens, and it deepens through the second episode where he's gone through his neighbor who has also passed away through unexplained circumstances, and he discovers that there may be some kind of alien artifact or something going on. And genuinely, this feels like it could have been a spin-off of Stranger Things, right? It just feels that.
Sure.
It doesn't feel too scary. It doesn't feel too funny. It's just a weird mix, right? Like the alien you see has this goofy look. It's just a bit in the middle. The production design I thought was great. I think the cast is fantastic, right? You've Alfred Molina, Alfred Woodward, Gina Davis. It's a really strong cast. Everyone plays their part relatively well in the sense that, you know, Gina Davis is the kooky, extroverted, I'm still young at heart, sexy older woman type. Alfred Molina is the crotchety old but smart, rational type. Alfred Woodward is in a marriage that seems like it's loveless, but it clearly isn't. So she's struggling with that. It's got a good cast. I only saw 2 episodes. Now, let me tell you why. The week before we were going to start this, Netflix canceled the second series.
Ooh, that's a big turnoff for you. I know that.
It is a big turnoff because I think I would have actually enjoyed it. And I have a sneaking suspicion, based on the first 2 episodes alone, I would have given this a must subscribe.
Whoa.
If not a strong mooch. I was vacillating between the two. I really was, and I did want to know what was going on. But then I read that they canceled the second season. Does that mean that this ends on a cliffhanger? It might do, because that's what the Duffer Brothers have been known to do with Stranger Things. So now I'm just like in this weird place where it's on my watch list, but the priority is dropped to the bottom. Because no matter what happens, I know I'm not going to see a second season of this.
Well, I take your point. I'm a little bit less positive about this show, only because, again, it is the Duffer Brothers, but I feel like it's really, like we said, I feel like it's just a geriatric or a retiree Stranger Things. Had I not watched Stranger Things, I'd probably be a little bit more interested in the plot, but having seen Stranger Things, I kind of feel like, all right, I've seen this. Yes, the big baddie scientist, and yes, there's like some supernatural thing going on, and yes, everyone's going to try to unsolve the mystery. And I just kind of felt like I've seen this before. It's the same script. We've just changed kind of the names of the characters and the age of the characters, but like it's kind of the same thing, right? It used to be like this small town that was like very independent, and now it's kind of this retiree community. I mean, I just kind of felt like Alfred Molina was the one kid. The kid's mom was like the equivalent of like Alfred Molina's daughter. Right? You know, it was just a lot of like, it was just like a lot of like mirroring. So it's not so much that this show was not good. I think it actually was pretty good. Apart from that opening scene, I slowly like rehabilitated myself to get a little bit more into it. But it was hard to be too excited about it just because I felt like I've seen this play out already. Am I really excited for like what's going to happen? The government's going to be involved in some experiments and some.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's my only. I guess that's my only complaint about this is that I kind of like the characters, and I could probably get into a retirement community like I did with Ted Danson and The Insider. That's not the deal breaker for me. It was just that I just felt like I've already seen this before, and it didn't really give me a lot of new motivation to continue watching. But yeah, I agree with you. Like first of all, if you like Stranger Things and you really kind of love that like unsolving of the mystery where it's kind of sci-fi and kind of supernatural, but not really, then you'll probably like this. If you didn't like Stranger Things at all, not just because of the nostalgia, but you just don't like, monsters and stuff like that, this is not going to be your thing then either.
Yes, absolutely. So for me, this is a strong mooch, or maybe not strong. I would say that it would be a strong mooch or a must subscribe if you are a fan of Stranger Things and if you knew there was going to be a continuation of the series.
Yeah.
But if you're not a fan of Stranger Things, you can see that this is going to be relatively predictable just after the first 2 episodes. At best, this is a mooch someone's password.
Yeah, that's pretty much how I feel as well. Somehow we got our wires crossed and we both watched it, but I'm happy that we came to similar conclusions, which is not to be unexpected. Is there anything else that we're watching, though, on a streaming channel that we should talk about? I know that soon on Apple TV Plus, the new season of Silo is coming out. I'm very excited about that. Have you been watching Star City?
You're jumping the gun here. Let's talk about what we're watching next week.
Ooh.
I have assigned myself Star City. Ethan has watched a few episodes already. It is a spin-off of For All Mankind. You are on Netflix watching a new show called Legends. So let's see how that goes.
There's also a new season of Sugar.
That's coming out as well. I think the first 2 episodes are out.
Sugar, I thought the first season really had a pretty good, not like a spoiler, but it had a pretty good twist kind of towards the end, yeah?
Yeah, and a twist I didn't see coming at all.
Yeah, so now the cat's a little bit out of the bag. All right, so that is a joint streamer skip on the Boroughs. One of the harder words for me to spell properly, by the way. Yeah. We both give it mooch-ish. Next week, I'm excited about Legends. I don't know who stars in Legends, but I've definitely seen it come up on my feed, so I'm happy to have the opportunity to review it.
Yeah.
Pete, before we sign off for the day, we need all of our social media creds.
All right. Like this video, subscribe to our channel, leave a comment below, and do not forget to hit that notification bell so that you know when the next episode of the Films and Stuff podcast drops for you.
Pete, thank you for joining us this Saturday morning. Listeners, thank you kindly as well. We shall see you next week, next episode, Films and Stuff podcast. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, Ethan. Thanks, all.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Films and Stuff. If you haven't already, please subscribe and review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever podcasts are downloaded. Films and Stuff. There is no substitute.